Everyone. What is up, everyone? I want to talk about greatness within, and we're going with the last principle, principle number 6, and that is greatness within. That is getting to that space we're trying to get to and following each principle down the line to get to that position. And so the question is, what is it to be in your greatest form possible? What does that mean? And ultimately, greatness means mastery, being able to master all aspects of who you are and where you're at. And a coach once told me, practice makes perfect is not a true thing because perfect practice makes perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. It means showing up as your best. Perfect doesn't mean doing it without failure or doing it without learning lessons. Perfect means doing it to your very best in the moment that you're in. Because if you do that, you'll stretch into something completely different. And so as you go through your journey and as you go through each principle, when you can put those principles together and layer them on top of one another, you can overcome any obstacle, any barrier, any problem. You see solutions in ways you've never seen them before. Because just like working any muscle, this is a muscle that will last you for a lifetime. And when you can figure out how to use the principles correctly, you're going to be glad that you did. Because I'll give you an example. As we go through, continue to stick. Continue to stick with me on this journey. And this is specifically why. You get better with the things that you practice consistently. And the things that are important to practice are the things that we have to think about. And what we can often do on our journey is practice on the wrong things. And so if we practice on the wrong things, it's not a fun place to be for us, and it's not a fun place to be for the people that we're trying to work with and empower on our journey. Because ultimately, we all feel a need to bring ourselves up and also bring others up. And usually we're focused on bringing ourselves up before we can bring others up. They often say, before you can be a leader, you have to learn how to follow first. And so this is what I'm going to take you through on the mastery section. The mastery section talks about a holistic approach, really being strong in all areas of your journey, being strong in mind, being strong in body, and being strong in spirit. And so we start with mind, and mind meaning having the right thoughts and sticking with those thoughts and using those thoughts to work for you instead of against you. This also comes down to having the right feelings, feeling through the process in the way that it needs to be felt through. And be a continuous learner, educating yourself consistently. And education comes from a combination of environment, mentorship, coaching, reading, and most of all, being curious, being open to possibilities. Because one of the most dangerous sentences that anyone can ever use is, I already know that. The second you go into I already know that mode, it shuts the brain off and it doesn't think anymore. And it doesn't try to learn new processes or perspectives or situations. And that's one of the most powerful things a person can have. And now going into the body is about putting in the right nutrition, the right exercise, and the right recovery as well, because all three are important. Knowing how to break it down and build it back up stronger than it was before. And spirit, being able to be a person of impact, purpose, and passion, going fully in on what it is that you're doing and giving your fullest, your all, everything about you. And so I want to take you through this journey, and I want you to enjoy the journey and enjoy the process. Because what's the point of doing anything if it's not going to be fun? Now, I didn't say it wasn't going to be hard, but I will say this: things are hard until they're easy. And I'd rather do something that's hard now that will become easy later than doing the easy thing and then realizing, what was this all for? Like, what did I really create in this world? What did I do? Why was I here? And I don't want people to go through that process. So, what I will say is, as we go through, it is important to get into not only the strategies, but the tactics behind those strategies on how to move yourself forward on your journey. Because deep down inside, we know we're supposed to do the right things. But the question is, why do we not? Like, why do we sit at home watching Netflix regularly? Why do we not exercise when we know it's important for us? Why do we not do some of the things that we know we're supposed to do to get us to where we want to go? And first and foremost, I will start with the most important thing: find the why behind the why behind the why. And that is, ask yourself why you are doing it consistently. And ask yourself that question before it gets hard, because things will get hard. But if you have enough whys behind why you're doing it, then you don't have to scramble for reasons to continue to do what you're doing in the process that you're doing it in. If you have enough whys backing you up, the process becomes quite a bit easier. And now I want to get into the tactical pieces of getting exercise in. Go to what works for you. What does that mean? I don't care if you're working out for half an hour or 30 seconds. Start somewhere. You know your body better than anybody else knows your body. Now, obviously, get a physician or a doctor's approval if you haven't been exercising for a while to get that clearance. But get your body moving. Break some form of sweat, whatever you need to do. No excuses. Give yourself a reason to move. Because when you move, you do what you want to do with full intensity, full passion. You're feeling the energy. So ultimately, just movement alone will actually help your mind and your spirit. And that's the cool thing about the holistic process, is when you put it together in the way that it needs to be put together, it all works and it all moves forward. The saying, the way you do one thing is how you do everything. Either you're moving forward or you're moving backwards. So the question is, which one do you want to do? And which one do you want to be? And there is no wrong answer to the question. There's just consequences to it. You get the option to move backwards, but then you get to deal with the consequences of moving backwards. And the people here, I want them to be winners. And I want to consistently be a winner myself. And a winner is someone who shows up, even on the days they don't necessarily want to. And they practice, work in that mind, work in that body, and work in that spirit. So I want you to join me on this weekly process, because you're going to hear stories, you're going to get lessons from other people, you're going to get experiences that will help you move into a place you never thought you could. You know, sometimes we just need to hear the right thing from the right source to get us to where we need to go. There's a saying, knowledge is knowing the things that you need to do, but wisdom is knowing the steps that you need to take. And I know a person's process becomes a heck of a lot easier when they get the know-how along with the steps, and the steps in the right order to go through their process. Because if it's already going to be hard, why make it harder on yourself? You know, the journey doesn't necessarily, in fact, let me take this back. Because hard is really just a state of being and a state of mind. But I do know this. If I was driving on the road with 4 bald tires, I would get a little bit frustrated because I'm not going where I want to go in the way that I want to get there. And I could have a map, I could have everything in place. But if I don't have the tires, it doesn't really matter. Now, to make things worse, if you don't have an engine, then you're just not going anywhere at all. And that's where the greatness is. The greatness is the engine. And so it's important to take care of your engine. But just like your engine, the tires are important as well. The car seats, the car's protective layer, everything about it is a needed piece. And so take care of your car, take care of it fully, get consistent oil changes, which is going to be me and the Pono crew and the Power of Six to step you into your mission, to step you into your purpose, to help you lead in the way you truly know you're capable of doing. Because I say you're one transformation away from absolutely changing your life. I'm Clifford Starks, and you have an amazing day.